And just like that, the final episode of the recording session has begun. Welcome back to VA-11 Hall A Cyberpunk Bartender Action. I am your host, MegaShadowFist. I suck at video games, I suck at commentary. And when we last left off, we were talking to Stella about how like a lot of the White Knight suits were being sold because of how valuable they were, so that we could throw down the patriarchy, and I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Let's go and continue. To say they're among the most vaunted people would be an understatement. You know a lot about this. It's interesting, the amount of things you hear when dealing with drunk people of all kinds of this in the same place. It also helps to put on a front that makes people lower their guard. That should sound familiar to you. True. Wait. Here's a freebie, a fun fact. The failsafe was originally going to involve the armor blowing up and leaving no traces. I was like, wait, she's not really putting on that type of, yeah. The amount of things you can deal with drunk people kinds is also to put on a front that makes people lower their guard. Like, why does everybody accuse her of doing that? I don't understand. Okay, so, like I said, like me and Jill, like Jill and I, we have very similar personalities in a lot of things. So relatively recently, like I was like, there was like this fad on Twitter that happened where like you would like post a poll and it'd be like, are you approachable, kind of unapproachable, and not approachable? And it seems like I was kind of down the middle for the most part. People had me at like kind of approachable or kind of unapproachable, and I had no idea what was going on. I asked, I was like, oh, well, I wonder what makes me so intimidating. And Garcon was like, oh, well, you seem too nice, and when you seem super nice, people think that it's like an act or something, and like it seems insincere. I was like, well, I don't know, man. Whatever. Like, you want me to just go and say, like, screw you, I'm gonna punch you in the face all the time. Yeah, I mean, I can be mean. I don't want to be mean, I'm just being me. I don't see how this counts as a failsafe, or not a failsafe, like a facade or something. The failsafe was originally, of course I'm saying that, but Jill's gonna have, like, some crazy transformation where she's gonna turn to, like, the most evil person in the world, isn't she? Isn't she? The failsafe was originally going to involve the armor blowing up and leaving no traces, but regulations and laws didn't allow that kind of technology near civilians. I guess even Ysbryd Games had its limits, huh? People love to demonize Ysbryd Games because, let's face it, they're far from innocent. But they're not the evil overlords, they're just greedy. They're just a big corporation. They just so happen to have control over what tantamounts to a city-state. But corporations will naturally resort to draconian methods. I've heard horror stories from people outside the city about trying to use product placement. If you so much as hold a banner in the wrong way or get in the way of a logo, you'll be in for lots of trouble. And let's not start with the theme parks of the like, those are dystopias of their own. Then again, most of the demonization is due to Quincy being such a clown. He has no power anyways. He's just the front that whatever counts him behind Ysbryd Games trolls. He makes a fool of himself and the attention is taken away from whatever it is that Ysbryd Games is actually doing. Yeah. So what you were saying is that Glitch City is basically a huge theme park? I've called the White Knights glorified mall security in the past, so yeah. Huh. No, seriously. Him what? Can I get a Brantini here, please? Sure. Let's go ahead and get it. No, I don't think have I memorized it? I could have sworn I did. Just to be sure, though. No, I haven't memorized it. I'm thinking of something else then. Ugh, you're driving me wild. You know, ever since I got that new song, it seems like the days have been so short, and I've been restarting so often that I haven't got a chance to, get to the very end of the the very end of the track and have it loop over. 6. By the way, before I started this recording session, I checked on Steam. Apparently I've been playing this game for 23 hours. Actually, this game has been going on for so long that I'm actually going to have to create some new thumbnails. Because usually what I do at the beginning of a series, I make like thumbnails in bulk. One Karma Train, all Asian mix. I make thumbnails in bulk, and like I'll make like an excess. So usually I'll have like a lot of unused thumbnails by the end of things, because I usually make things in bulk. Like I usually make so many that I don't have to worry about making anymore, like ever throughout the series. And since this is a 3-episode a week series, with the third episode being 40 minutes, and the average time of completion for a lot of people is like 8 to 12 hours. I was thinking I made 46 thumbnails, including the finale thumbnail. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to take that long to beat it, but take that long to complete the game, but no. It's legitimately, I'm going to have to make more. I'm probably not, this is day 17, the game ends probably not next episode, but maybe next episode. Next tomorrow, or tomorrow within game time, so, because there are 18 days, so I imagine I probably only have about one more recording session left after this. Let's go into Sir Frantini. Here! Probably not even a full one, too. It's probably going to be a half one, so I'm going to have an extra long mega breaks with probably to get things back on track. Thanks! So I take it you're in a good mood today? Does it show? A bit. Yeah, well, I managed to nab a couple of tickets for the Kira Kira Miki Encore concert. Nice. Oh, right, as it turns out, she was just here. Again? Sorry. Again? Can't believe I just missed her. I was surprised too. I was more surprised she remembered my name though. And like last time, she was quite the graceful client. Man, so those rumors about her being really nice and pleasant were actually true? Amazing! I mean, you always want the famous people to be nice in real life. But having such backing to that claim, to hear that she's so nice to everyone, it's nice to hear, In fact, many think that that's what made her so famous so quickly. How she's down to earth and totally accessible, making her someone everyone wants to root for. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to feel like you're supporting crappy people. Although, to be honest, I've never put much thought into that one. Hell, half the time I have no idea who made what I use, nor do I care much. Being a nice person will take you far, though. My daddy always insisted that being ruthless in the boardroom doesn't mean being an ass. And he has actually managed to get certain contracts over other more powerful people. All thanks to being a nice guy overall. Sounds like good advice. But more importantly, Daddy? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Do you really believe me saying she was just here that easily? You're not the kind to lie about stuff like that, so sure. Thanks, I guess. That said, can you go to the concert so easily? What about security and the like? My dad always has a unit keeping an eye on me from a distance. And you'd be surprised at how easily I can disguise myself with just a different hairdo and a cap. I see, probably put on a mask too. I wonder if I could get in the disabled line with Sei and her wounds. Although she'd probably nag me about how she doesn't need it and we shouldn't abuse that. Hey, can you get me a classic drink? Sure. I am a classic man. Look at me, I'm so clean. I don't know. She said classic, not classy, right? A beer's a classic. A Bleeding Jane's a classic. Let's go with the frothy water. I hate this. It's basically it's the PG-rated show's favorite beer or sats since 2040. Yeah, it's the beer substitute, if you will. I hate this because it just has such an ugly name. Frothy water. Mix and stop. Here, serve. She said classic, right? Classic drink. Okay, here. Thank you. Do you have many servants around the house, Stella? I do, but they've been with us for so long, they're pretty much family. My dad has always said that if you earn someone's trust, they'll gleefully work for you, and everyone wins. We even had a young gardener that left to study engineering, and he actually came back. He still comes by every weekend to tend the plants. Man, that sounds nice. Let me know if you're ever in need of a job, I might find you something. Thanks for the offer. Wait. I just realized something's off with the whole tech gold rush story. What would it be? Wouldn't all that tech be patented anyways? I kept trying to crack it in the first place, but... That would be true if the tech was patented in the first place. It isn't? Probably there's a patent on maybe the specific armor, but not necessarily the technology within the armor. Which is weird, because usually you put a patent on the technology within it too. Cyber subs have been so paranoid about making the white knife untouchable that they never patented anything. A patent would be in a database that someone could hack and retrieve valuable info from. Oh, okay. Not to mention they've been using tech from other companies without any authorization. And no patent registry in their right mind would approve of that global shutdown signal. Let alone how it immobilized everyone who's still inside of one of those suits. So the ones that were upholding the law did so using suits that are by all means illegal? The irony runs deep, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that is pretty ironic. Why do it, though? When you have so much money, you start thinking you can screw around with the rules. All that power makes you think you're above every law there is. And this city is what happens when those with money start making the rules. I'm curious though, have you ever covered up any fuck-ups by using money? I think we've all done things we're not too proud of at some point in our lives. Well, Jill, I gotta go. Always a pleasure. Please come again. Ah, Alma. No, hello. You're pretty insistent on that one, aren't you? So, it seems like... So, I don't know how old Alma is. It's kind of like... It's kind of up in the air. Like, she could be 40. Like, I could see it. I want to believe otherwise. Actually, like, when I was talking about how Alma is my girl, like, and talking about how, like, Joe Milton would I would, like, after me and Phoenix Edgeworth killed each other in our duel to the death, Joe Milton would come in and swoop up and take her. He said he'll, considering her possible age, he said he'll pass. You're pretty insistent on that one, aren't you? It's basic courtesy. Something I will fight to uphold. I'm not doing the voice properly. First the greeting stop, then saying please and thanks stops, and before you know it, boom, total anarchy. You're exaggerating. I'm not. In fact, I'll go through that door again, and I expect you to properly greet me this time. Fine. Hello, Jill. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping on my chamber door, only this and nothing more." Quoth the raven nevermore. Quoth the raven, isn't that Edgar Allan Poe? Quoth the raven nevermore. Let me see. Let's see. Once upon a midnight dreary. Yeah, The Raven. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Tapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I mutter, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. But you know, there is the Quoth the Raven nevermore. That's a thing. I quote it all the time. I could have sworn. Yeah, Quoth the Raven nevermore. Yeah, she was definitely quoting Edgar Allan Poe right there. Interesting that I recognize that because I haven't memorized the poem. I just remember, like, once she said, I muttered tapping on the chamber door, only this and nothing more. That's when I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of the Raven. You overdid it. You totally overdid it. That was the point. Quoth the bartender, I did not. So, you like poetry? I had a phase. Can I get you something? I wrote a poem once when I was, like, during my senior year of high school in AP English. Like, there was that, like, we were, like, doing poetry, like, romantic poetry, and we got to, like, some Robert Frost and everything, and I wrote, like, a Frost-style poem once. Let's start with a big cobalt velvet. Sure. Alright, so big cobalt velvet, she said. Before I get into it, so I have a friend, actually, he said that, like, he wrote a poem for, like, a girl that he liked, that he had a crush on. Which I thought was interesting. I don't want to go into too many details about it, but it was a little weird, to say the least, especially considering he didn't really know her, but whatever. I've been weird. I guess that will be, like, an interesting, like, topic question. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the weirdest thing that you have done for people that you were romantically interested in? Assuming you, I don't know, you could be one of those, you could be aromantic. I don't judge. It's not right to judge, especially not in this series, which tries to break the rules and make everything so, you know, non-standard, all in the rocks and mix. But let's see, what's the weirdest thing that I've done? I've talked about that story of, like, the basically non-existent girlfriend that I had during my freshman year of high school or so. I talked about that before in Eternal Sonata. I'm not going to talk about that again. Let's see, any weird things that I've done? Does staring and giggling sort of like a creeper kind of work? I don't know. I haven't really done anything super out of the ordinary. I mean, super crazy. There was that one time, but aside from that, I don't know. Sir, maybe it's once upon a time in Megaland, I was a young 17-year-old lad in my senior year of high school, and there was this girl that I was crushing on for 2 years, actually. Starting during my junior year of high school. Who also reciprocated those romantic feelings. And, you know, that was like the perfect win-win situation, or so you say, but it wasn't for me, because back then I was too afraid of approaching women that I was interested in, so then it all came down to my very last day of my senior year of high school. We were launching rockets for my physics class, and I was like, well, I better actually try to do something here. Or else, like, you know, I'm probably never going to end up talking to this girl again. And so, what I did was, I thought the genius thing to do in that situation was to just stand there and giggle, like, like, then she'll approach me, and then, like, everything will be, then we'll talk, and then we'll, like, get, like, exchange phone numbers, and we'll have, like, 10 trillion babies. Of course, you can already figure out how that turned out in the end. Here! Thanks! Oh yeah, that's something I've been wondering about for a while. I guess that's like the weirdest thing that I've done, but other than that, I haven't really done anything too crazy. Does the name Shadowmaster 69's Chronicles ring any bells? Shadowmaster 69, like that's like an old school, like, you know, username from that's like early internet era. And by early internet, I mean early to mid 2000s internet era. Wow, you went pale. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. Shadow Warrior 69 is what you said? Reminds me, there's like this... you scroll too fast! Shadow Master 69 is what it was. It's a good thing that I've trained my eyes to be able to read things at like super quick speeds. But oh man! Like, it reminds me of like this YouTube channel that I used to be subscribed to. Well, actually, I still am subscribed to him, although there's no point. This Shadow Mario 64, he used to do like Super Mario 64 machinimas, but then he stopped. You can't even find those videos on YouTube anymore, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. May 22nd, today... Why does that date seem so familiar to me? May 22nd. Wait, isn't that when Tales of Vesperia, my Tales of Vesperia series started? Hold on. Let me see. MegaShadowFist. I know I'm going off in a lot of like random tangents here. MegaShadowFist, Tales of Vesperia. Number 1, The Sword of Humble Beginning. This went live on May 14th. Huh. I could have sworn I had a series. Why does that date seem so familiar to me? Like there's another, like this happened to me with there are these times where like important things happen to me on certain dates, and I'm trying to remember like why they were so important. Like November 7th, 2012. Like every time I hear the date November 7th, I think of November 7th, 2012, and for some reason I told myself that was the date that I should always remember. But for some reason I can't quite remember what was so... Wait a minute. That couldn't have been... No, that couldn't have been. I don't know, I told myself to remember that date for some reason, but I can't exactly remember, like, why. I can't exactly remember why I told myself to remember that date. Anyway, May 22nd. Today my daily CAD readings told me that I'd make great change thanks to an old man. My biology teacher told me I had been picked for an inter-school contest in my latest essay. I just knew a scientific theory and the idea of auras was as revolutionary as I thought. Saying I'd bring the world into the court science singularity. Later entries don't seem to have gone that well though. Mentions of being laughed at, being lectured on why the essay was wrong. Jill? I made sure to delete that blog! No other should be left! I can think of at least six different sources off the top of my head that have all that stuff archived. Why? Why? Sheesh, relax, it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? Don't you realize how embarrassing it all is? We've all been young, Jill, relax. It's not like you're still like that nowadays. That would have been embarrassing. Well, that was like, she said professor, essay, like it couldn't have been that long ago. You're not still like that, right? Well, you underestimate her, Alma. Gods no, I've gave up on the whole occult stuff. Or so you think. Oh, she's like hungokure. I don't like the occult. It's just that remembering all that stuff is... I don't know, I like the way you looked. All dressed in black with a rare accessory popping out thanks to the colors. I mean, at least you have the decency to use makeup and take care of yourself. So you have a pick. Oh god, you have a fucking pick. Why do you do this to me? Why do you dig out the sins of my past? I was bored. Last Friday I had to take my mind off the whole Diana thing, so I ran a small background check on you. Simple, so there we go, finally! This is the first time that this song is played since I added it to the whatchamacallit. Simple stuff, just checking past internet activity. Please don't run background checks like that. I just use a search engine, you know? I didn't request documents or anything. What led you to the page? You didn't realize your main mail account everywhere is still the one you used back then, right? That's how they do it. Like I said, relax. You were obsessed with occultism. I wanted to kiss all the boys. And I kinda almost accomplished that in the middle school, which still sort of haunts me today. Never underestimate the lengths that all classmates will go to track you down. Especially if they think you're still the girl that kissed them for fun and they're learning to boot. We all have things we're not too proud of as adults. Now I know how criminals feel when evidence is used against them. Like an Ace Attorney. I have to ask though, why the 69? It was supposed to be 69, not 69. Like in reference to both the Lovers and the Hermit. Like the cards, like tarot cards. If you played Isaac, you probably know tarot cards. Or if you watch JoJo, because like, in the first season of if you watch the anime, it's the first season of Stardust Crusaders, but you know, Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3, all the stands were named after tarot cards. Once they got to Egypt, things sort of changed. They started getting named after like Egyptian gods, but you know. And then in part 4, they started getting named after like bands and like songs and whatnot. But anyway, in reference to both the Lovers and the Hermit, I actually did a tarot reading on myself not too long ago, and I got a Lovers reading. Apparently that's supposed to be what I'm supposed to look for. That's what's in my future. The Lovers card. I'm supposed to find true love or something like that. I don't know. I was convinced it meant wise choices. Jill, there's nobody that would read that as 6'9". Seriously. I was 12 at the time. Even at 12, I fucking knew what 69 was. Just how innocent were you back then? Even I did. You have no idea. Although I wouldn't really consider myself to be super innocent. It's just that I don't really enjoy that type of stuff. So it's not so much that I'm innocent. It's more that I'm just like super traditional. I wouldn't really consider myself traditional. Like whatever floats your boat, as long as it's legal. But I don't know. Well, let's sweeten up things a bit. I'll have a sugar rush. Sure. Sugar rush, he said. All right. I almost forgot. Because I was only half paying attention, so we'll go with a sweet drink, Sugar Rush, 2A, 1P, all mixed, 1, 2, stop, serve. Here, this is the thing. Say, Alma, speaking of the past, what was your last long-term relationship like? That's sudden. You dug through my past, I've earned the right to dig through yours. Fine. Long-lasting relationships, huh? Romantic ones, I'm guessing. What other ones would you be talking about, eh? Yep. Well, I've had about 4 boyfriends who I describe as such, that I've introduced to my family and all. The first one was in high school. I broke up with him because he cheated on me. Okay. I remember the other girl trying to pick a fight and me just saying keep the fucker. The second one was during my freshman year. I broke up with him after he thought it'd be funny to punch me in the arm. What? That's weird. Okay, the first situation, like if like my girlfriend cheated on me with a guy and like he tried to pick a fight with me, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably end up punching him in the face. I don't know, like it's so like let's just hope that doesn't happen, because you know, I like to avoid having a criminal record, knock on wood. I mean, punching somebody in the face wouldn't be a felony by any means, but it's still a misdemeanor, so I don't know what it classifies as. I'd have to register for like assault and battery and stuff, and I wouldn't want that. But you know, like I try to walk away, but I might end up punching him in the face. That's just me. He's also the friendly hit, and before you know it. Anyways, the other guy I met shortly after I dropped out. He was interested in marriage, but he wanted to get married after only half a year, so ignoring him. And then there's Richard. Richard, I wonder if he's a real something else. Who? A real dick. That's not really a curse word, so I spent almost 4 years with him. We got along pretty well, we had some awesome chemistry, I truly loved him. But as time went by, there was a rift that started separating us. He just didn't like my family. That'll do it. He didn't? Moreover, he wasn't a family person. He distanced himself from his own and voiced that he didn't want kids. There was a part of me that wanted to believe, even if I just for a little bit, that maybe he'd change his mind. As much as I loved him, that one detail brought a growing gap between us. And at one point I just had to break up with him. But I'm not here to depress you. Bring me a beer, will you? Let me look at this again. That was a family person. He distanced himself from his own and voiced that he didn't want kids. There's a part of me that wanted to believe, even just for a little bit, that maybe he changed his mind, but as much as I loved him, that one detail brought a growing... I don't know. I've always gone back and forth between the idea of having a child. But I'm not here to depress you. Bring me a beer, will you? Sure. I've always gone back and forth on the idea of having children, because like it's like, on one hand, it's like, you know, there's like this phase where for like the first... Well, like, if they're female, you have to worry about them for essentially their entire lives, but if they're male, you have to worry about them for, like, their first, like, 15, 16 years of their lives at least. It's like, you know, because by then, you know, probably they won't be, like, the victims of anything for the most part. And it's kind of like, I don't like that type of pressure. And, like, there's also when they're babies, babies are like the easiest things to kill in the world. Like you like you know, like you go like it's like no, I don't know, 1, 2 stuff, and like they're so loud and like they demand all your attention. But at the same time, I go back and it's kind of like I like the idea. Like the thing is though, I think for me it's because like I tend to think that for some reason I'd end up doing it like all by myself. But if you're married or whatever, unless you know your spouse is a not very nice person, you wouldn't be doing it yourself. But you can't help but think, I don't know. I always go back and forth on the idea. I'd be willing to have them, I guess, if my wife wanted them, but I don't think I'd be the one to bring it up myself. Thanks for telling me that, by the way. Don't mention it. Okay, one more question and we're even. Wow, you really are embarrassed of that blog, huh? Sure, ask away. At what age did you get those implants in your boobs? Jill, I love you and I know you're saying that in jest. But I've lived through so many rumors about me getting plastic surgery that I can't and won't take it as a joke. As such, in honoring our friendship, I'll just say this. They're real, and they're spectacular. Now ask the real question before I slap you. I'll grant you one, and only one chance to call me by my full name as compensation then. I'll gladly take your offer. It's funny that you mentioned slapping me because my real question is, why did you get your hands chopped? Oh. Chopped. Okay. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is that I spend lots of time typing, and these replacements help me avoid carpal tunnel syndrome. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. There's other utilities, like how I can interface with many devices. For example, there's a tiny computer embedded in my glasses. If I move my index finger, it acts like the computer's cursor. There's a lot more, but there's small things that don't sound that impressive when I say it out loud. Wow, did your family take that How did your family take that operation? They took it well enough. Except for my mom, she freaked out for months. She even went to the hospital to ask for my hands. Don't you miss them? Sometimes, but just during the emotional moments, but as luck would have it, someone else have them. Shortly before my operation, there was an accident on the highway. One of the victims was this young lady whose right hand got completely crushed. I told them to check if we were compatible and all that. I mean, implants are not everyone's first choice if they get a natural replacement. A bit of cosmetic treatment and it could pass off as their original hand with no problem. Last I heard we were compatible and the family agreed to the donation. I don't know what became of her, but I hope she's fine. And you didn't tell your mom about that? Wait, couldn't she have gotten robotic hands too then? Like, I'm thinking about that, like she could have, the thing is, Alma has fully functioning robot hands. Like, it's not like, technology of today, where, all you can really do, we gotten some pretty advanced things, but they're not, they're not like Alma's, or Stroheim! Or I guess, old Joseph Joestar. Stroheim! I don't know, I'm saying it like that, it's like I'm trying to say it like Japanese and German at the same time, and it's coming out sounding really weird. He's a character from Part 2 of JoJo. One of my favorite characters from Part 2, actually. And you didn't tell your mom about that? I didn't want her pestering the poor girl. So, are we cool now? Or are we even now? Are we? You were pretty pissed about your comment regarding your boobs. Again, I'm sorry, it sounded a lot less rude in my head. Yeah, don't worry about that. Besides, I get to call you Julianne once. That was your one time, I hope you enjoyed it. Now you don't. Eh? Why? You just called me by my full name. Are you serious? One chance and only one chance, and you just used it up. Damn it. Surprise! Not you! What are you doing here? Anna, leave! Hey, Alma, this might be a weird tangent, but do you believe in ghosts? Hey! Not particularly, no. Although there was this paper I read once that was quite interesting. It proposed a scenario where nanomachine clusters would leave the body after death, and then act as a collective hive mind through residual brainwaves. The result would basically be an image not unlike a hologram. Wait! You aren't saying she's dead, are you? That's creepy. Of course, the hypothesis fell through because such nanomachine density is impossible in a body. Even 5% of the amount needed is enough to make the blood too dense for the heart. And it's not like brainwaves are potent enough to create those reactions. Still, an interesting read, though. I see. Don't give me that look! It's not my fault that you convinced yourself that you're crazy! Well, I'll leave then. See you tomorrow. See ya! All done? I am. What about you, Gil? For some reason, the idol girl left him like that, it seems. You think? It might have been while he was out. True. Hey, boss, you're a fan of wrestling, aren't you? I mean, you were a wrestler, so... That I am, yeah, why? I was wondering, isn't wrestling fake? Aren't twin tails for little girls and teens with 8th grade syndrome? 8th grade, what? Yeah, they always translate it to that. Chunibyo. It's like, it's also used in Korean. I've learned. It's interesting. I wonder why it's used in Korean. It has a completely different meaning. It's like you're romantically crushing on people. But in Japanese, it's like someone who's this weird phase where they don't want to exactly grow up and act their age, so they tend to typically you see them a lot in anime where they're acting like they're some cast out member of something, they're cast out member of society with some secret superpower. If you've ever seen Steins Gate, for example, you know how Rintaro has his alter ego Hoinkyoma, right? That's basically what it is. When you get down to it, wrestling is as real as this soap opera. I mean, you don't really expect a legal lawsuit to be fixed in a ring, right? Sure, in my ideal world, you would solve legal problems through good old wrestling, but... No, seriously, 8th grade, what? But you don't go around calling soap operas fake. It's a show, it just so happens to use fights as an expression. You might as well see it as a unique form of theater. Besides, considering the injuries many wrestlers suffer, it's not all fake. Huh, I didn't think about it that way. Sadly, I won't stand for anyone badmouthing wrestling. So now I have to go and break Gil's back to make you humble. What? No, Gil! Oh, well... Wait, what? Come here, fuckboy! Fuckboy! 8th grade, what? No. Why Gil, though? Why Gil? I don't understand. Total earnings 43,300. Drinks total 33.90. Mistakes 0. Commission 30%. Today's payment 10.17. Tips 12.50. Flawless service bonus 500. Who would have thought we get a bonfire and idle in the bar? 300. Today's total transfer 30.67. Total funds 17.940. I feel like an adult. We got an achievement. You are charged with 1,000. You're charged with 10,000 for your rent. Have a nice day. Jill will have a roof on her head for another month. This sense of relief will make sure she focuses at work. Have a nice day. Yay! We have a roof over our heads for another month. Yay! And that's when he goes crazy and bites her head off. Too real? I don't know. Life backup. Let's go ahead and save over slot 3. It looks like. But she did give us a ticket, right? She gave us her ticket, so did we unlock the ending or for Kirikirimiki ending or not? I'm still confused on the whole matter. Because like she did give us a ticket to go, we just didn't show up, right? And did we get so like we know if we unlocked it if we got the achievement. Did we get an achievement? I don't know. Anyway, now it's the end of the episode, and because I don't want the next recording session to basically be like 2 seconds long, I'm gonna save all the readings for the next recording session. And we're going to use this time to respond to some comments. Oh, before we get into things. So, going back to the whole AI thing again, relatively recently, and by relatively recently, I mean last night at the time of recording this, I saw a video on, like, how AI, like, it's like, Joe Milton asked that question if AI can become sentient, and incidentally, I saw a video last night about that, covering that same topic. It was very well made and very interesting. It was talking about, like, how advanced AI has become, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. I'll leave a card here so you can see it for yourself. It's not super long. It's like 11 minutes or so. If you have patience enough to sit through an entire like 40-50 minute video of these, I assume you have the patience to, do whatever. Okay, so let's go to the most recent episode of... Was that the most recent episode? Episode 45, Stinglovik? I believe that was, actually. Alright. Let's keep the... What are you doing? There we go. Alright, like my YouTube app was glitching out on me. Okay, so like I remember last episode, or not, was it last episode? Yeah, it was last. Why? If it wasn't last episode, why would he make a comment on it last episode? Oh. Last episode of the time of recording this, which is episode 45. I was talking about like Hatsune Miku, and like Phoenix was like, who doesn't know Hatsune Miku? Okay, I know she's a very common name and everything, and I imagine that the population of people who watch games and are interested in this type of game and don't know who she is very, very very small, I imagine, but it doesn't hurt. Let's see. Never assume that anything is common knowledge, because the moment that you do is the moment that you get like mad at everything. It's helped with my sanity, I think. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. So, in episode 45, I asked you guys how your Christmas was and what you guys got and everything, and Phoenix Edge was like, well, I gave you and Kratos the pictures, and I drew one from my mom as well. Yeah, nothing special. I got myself Pokemon Sun for Christmas, which is kind of funny because my family got me Pokemon Moon. Now I have both. But yeah, this is like my first real like viewer art thing. I remember like Garcon 45. Garcon. How often do I call him Garcon 45? Like I never do like did like a thing for like a small like Microsoft Paint edit for me. But this is my first like real art thing. It was really cool. It was like a picture of me, like my YouTube, or like my Twitter profile picture, and like sort of like a modified version of my Twitter profile picture, and Jill mixing drinks and changing lives, I suppose. It was like Merry Mega Christmas. I thought that was cool. Let's see, anything else? Try it, they'll be dead before you can even scratch me though. Says the person who doesn't even have a stand. You can't beat me, buddy. You can't beat my stand. Says every criminal, says every villain in JoJo, and then they get their butts kicked. Let's see, oh yeah, Phoenix, not Phoenix Edge, Suppleted. It's like, let's see, what voice I get? Oh my gosh, I just started to get into JoJo as well, and now I can't stop talking about it. This is the best thing ever. I'm reading the manga, and it's into part 8 right now. Don't worry, it gets good, really good later on. I personally don't like part 4 as much, but you should really get into the manga after watching the anime. It is a lot faster to read the manga, and part 7 is just so good. Because like right now I'm on part 4. Well, actually, part 4, which is Diamond is Unbreakable, or Diamond wa Kudakenai. Diamond wa Kudakenai. I've already told that before, but I'm on the last 4 episodes of the series at the time of recording this, and I imagine that I will be, before even the first episode of this recording session goes live, I will be finished with the series, I imagine. So, yeah. I'm actually really enjoying part 4. It's probably either, like, tied with part 2, which is my favorite, or just under part 2. But yeah, it's nice to be able to share in the JoJo love, because it seems like a lot of people have been getting into it recently, because it's so good! Man, I love it. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what Joe says. So, Joe was talking about, okay, so, like, remember how Anna was like, take care of Rebecca, and I was like, who is Rebecca? And Joe Moten was like, wasn't that Dorothy's middle name or something? Because I was really confused, but actually, yeah, I forgot that, like, Dorothy's full name is Rebecca Dorothy Willow Graham, right? So, you know, just one of those things. He also said, get good at romance languages. And, yeah, like, you know, obviously, you know, I speak English, I speak Japanese, and a little bit of Chinese, and I understand a little bit of Spanish from, like, from studying in the middle and high school, but, you know. So, I guess I'm, like, duolingual, if you will, per se, but, I'm not really there is, like, back when I was younger, I had this thing where I wanted to, like, be, like, fluent in, like, 5 languages. Now, not so much. I'm not really into that. Obviously, I do have a somewhat of a knowledge in Romance languages because I did study Spanish. I've forgotten most of it. But I've actually taken an interest in Romanian, because not necessarily because my friend Nobi is Romanian, but it has an interesting history. So, like, if you've ever heard, like, Romanian spoken before, it sounds like someone speaking, like, a weird hybrid between, like, Italian and, like, Russian, because, like, Romanian, due to its geographic location, has, like, a lot of, like, Slavic language influence to it, and I thought that was really interesting, speaking of this, like, Romance Slavic language hybrid, and it kind of made me interested in wanting to learn it. Let's see, Joe Milton said, I just spent time with family. When I asked, like, what'd you guys do for Christmas? I just spent time with family. The only ones that get presents are the younger relatives. We see it as pointless otherwise. Actually, for this Christmas, what we did, like, we each had, like, a $100 budget. Me, my younger sister, my mother, and my father. And we were each supposed to spend $25 on each other and wrap up the presents and put it on the Christmas tree. So everyone got presents, actually. I actually didn't spend the $25 on myself to get, like, a $25 gift. What I did was I decided to use that to go on something bigger. In that case, I'm getting a Blue. Yesterday or 2 days ago on Amazon, I bought myself a Blue Yeti Pro microphone and a mix amp. I'm probably not gonna. Now, you probably won't be noticing any super superior changes in audio and, like, voice quality in my videos, because I'm probably still going to be using my Blue Snowball in my videos. You might say, then why'd you get it? Well, because, you know, I want to do voiceover work in Japanese and English. That's, like, what I want to do as a career, of course. So I figured now it's time, since I want to do that as my career, it's time to actually start getting more serious. I feel like there have been times where using just, like, a regular, like, USB microphone for auditions is kind of, like, which is obviously lower quality, has kind of ruined my chances in getting certain roles, I believe. So it's time for me to start getting a bit more professional. So I decided to get one of those. get myself a Blue Yeti Pro. Because like you might be saying, isn't a Blue Yeti Pro a USB microphone? Actually, the difference between, like, if you're ever curious between the difference in a Blue Yeti Pro and just a regular Blue Yeti, a Blue Yeti Pro, like a Blue Yeti is only a USB microphone, so it can only plug into like a computer and like record with like Audacity or something. But like a Blue Yeti Pro, not only does it function as a USB microphone, but you can also plug into like a traditional mixer, which is why I got the mixer and everything. So I'm going to be like super professional and stuff with my voice, with my VA stuff. The reason why I'm not really doing that with my, I'm not really going to be using that with my on this channel is because let's see, I got this Blue Snowball microphone back in January of 2014, right? I believe the very first recording session that I did with this microphone was the Let's Go Random of Mario Kart 64 with Garkun, I believe. And I didn't actually start doing like any like editing to the the voice audio until like March or so. But I take pride in the fact that you can go to a video now or go to a video back to like March of 2014 and the audio quality is pretty much the same. Like they're pretty much the same. Like there's no like weird adjusting period where you have to go to like, oh, like this microphone quality is a bit lower than it is now. It's kind of distracting a little bit or something. I don't know. I know that doesn't bother like a whole lot of people, but like I know some people do get bothered by the fact that like they go back to an older video and like the audio quality isn't as good. Obviously, I have made minor improvements over time to make it a little bit better, so it's not exactly the same as it was back in like March 2014 or so, but it's good enough. Like, you know, the only real issue is that there's echo that I have with my voice sometimes, but that's not really my microphone's fault. That's like the acoustics in my room. And, you know, the microphone that I have right now is just fine. I don't really feel the need to improve for, like, YouTube purposes. So I just like keeping things consistent, if you will. Here's one of those things, but I also got some, like, clothes. I also got, like, this black and gold, like, earbuds that I think are cool, because it kind of reminds me of, like, Jotaro's, outfit in part 2 of, no, Jotaro wasn't in part 2, he was in part 3, Stardust Crusaders of JoJo, and my mom also got me like a, this little like notepad thing. It's this really small notepad thing, kind of looks like a passport actually, probably just about as big as my passport actually, and the front of it has like, and probably just about as thick as a passport too, like the cover says, "Today is my greatest adventure," and I really like that. I don't know. I really like that. Because, you know, that's just how it is. Every day is a great adventure, I think, sort of. I think it fits my personality very well. But yeah, that was that. Let's see, how long have I been talking, I wonder? Let's see. That was 10 minutes. Okay, so, let's go ahead and, I suppose end things off here, because, like, you know, I've been talking for a while. I respond to all the comments I wanted to respond to, so let's go ahead and exit. Go to back to the title screen. Yes, please. Sukeban Games. Ysbryd Games. And with that, I suppose it is time to end things off here. So, the next recording session is probably going to end up being the final recording session of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to believe I started this back in, like, September or so of 2016, and this game will be ending very, very soon. Yeah. I've really enjoyed this series so far. It's kind of crazy to think that it'll be ending relatively soon. I have the next game picked out for my Mega Breaks with, and we'll see what the next series is going to be after the Mega Breaks with. But yeah, I hope you guys are prepared. We're getting down. This series is numbered. Probably my favorite series that I've done basically on the channel. Kind of crazy, but yeah, let's go ahead and end things off here, I suppose. So, this will probably be the last time that I do this normal, you know, end of series outro, huh? So, if you like this video, this series of videos, please feel free to leave a like if you thought it was cool. Please feel free to subscribe and join Team Strawberry today. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MegaShadowFist. I'll be sure to leave that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and this is MegaShadowFist signing out. Bye!